Greg Pruett here, President of the Idaho Second Amendment Alliance. It is March 24th, 2023, and we are closing in on the last of the Idaho legislative session for the year. They are trying to ram everything through that they possibly can, which is common this time of year. For those that don't know, it is snowing here in southern Idaho, which is completely unacceptable this time of year. Spring is not arrived. So with that, I wanted to address some interesting comments by Senator Anthon, who is the Senate Majority Leader, a Republican, so to speak, in the Idaho House, or excuse me, Idaho Senate. So the last few days, Senator Anthon has attacked us a couple of times, although it's kind of funny because he won't attack us by name, which is kind of strange. Like, if you're going to attack us, like, don't be a coward, just attack us. Let's go. All right, let's do this. So yesterday, Senator Anthon got all butthurt about a letter that we had put out regarding a bill that we were indirectly concerned about when it came to the Second Amendment. So let's start there. So yesterday there was a bill, Senate Bill 1163, and we had put out a white paper to be passed out to the senators to explain some of the concerns that we had with that bill. Now, typically we almost always stay focused on bills that are directly related to the Second Amendment. However, we're not afraid, and we have every right to speak out on issues where it may potentially impact gun owners. So what is Senate Bill 1163? Well, it has to deal with pornography on your cell phone, right? And your first thought is, well, what the heck? Why in the world would gun owners be concerned about a bill that deals with pornography on your cell phone? And what the bill was trying to do was they wanted to make it so that when a minor purchases a cell phone, that the pornography filters are automatically turned on. Okay, there's some, I think, problems with being able to do that, and we detest pornography as much as anybody else, or at least I personally do. We don't have a stance on pornography as a gun group, but the concerns from gun owners came when in the bill it said they're providing a method to sue the manufacturers of the cell phones if the law isn't followed, or if someone gets access to pornography, we're opening up lawsuits against the manufacturers. And we were like, well, wait a minute here. Like, sure, this is dealing with cell phones, but gun owners right now in multiple states, not this one, but in multiple states I should say the gun manufacturers are dealing with lawsuits from citizens because of laws similar to this. And so we said, this is kind of a terrible idea. You're setting some really bad precedent. In fact, you could almost argue it would make almost more sense that you could sue the gun manufacturer because it's a direct use of that product, where in this pornography instance, they're suing the cell phone manufacturer because porn exists. I mean, it was just a really weird argument. And so our argument was, look, this is a cell phone, gun, whatever it is, a car, a spoon. These are items, and if they're misused, you can't go sue the manufacturers of those items. And we are laying the groundwork in case law because somebody is going to get sued, I promise you. In this state especially, somebody is going to get sued. And so we had put out a letter and identifying that as one of our primary concerns, was that you're going to lay the legal groundwork for lawsuits against gun manufacturers in this state because the legislature is making it very clear, and the bill failed, by the way, by one vote. One vote. We are making it very clear that the Idaho legislature supports suing the manufacturers of items that harm children. And the bill sponsor mentioned that over and over and over again yesterday. That's for the children. We got to protect the children. And I agree. Look, I have a high school age kid. I don't want him looking at pornography on his phone. Okay? He didn't have a phone for a really long time. He had like this watch thing. He got into high school and I was like, okay, we've got to have something that doesn't look like it's for a fourth grader. Okay? So we got him a Gab phone. Gab phone has no internet, no apps, no games. He can call, he can text. That's it. That's all he needs. Okay? That's how we solved that problem personally. The second issue that we had was is that they were setting themselves up for safe voting for safe storage requirements. Okay, which is what they have in Oregon and California, a lot of blue states. If you're saying it's to protect the children, right, and that's the reason you have to do this bill against with cell phones. If you're saying it's to protect the children, then why what would prohibit you from voting for forced safe storage requirements? So morally, they were setting themselves up for something bad to come in the future. That's what our letter was trying to convey yesterday. That's what it did convey. Senator Tammy Nichols understood what our letter said, and she got up on the floor and thrashed Senator Anthon's stupid attack. But he got up there yesterday, was all butthurt, was like, "Oh, you got this letter from the a special interest group, and look, if you vote for this, it doesn't mean anything about the Second Amendment." And he just sat there and complained and whined like a baby on the Senate floor because we had put out a white paper expressing some concern with what was happening. So fast forward to today, and I kind of let it go. I was like, whatever, no big deal. Fast forward to today, and he completely loses it. He completely loses it in the Senate State Affairs Committee. So the Senate State Affairs Committee was debating House Bill 295, and we had put out a call to action, as many groups had, to contact Senator Guthrie to get this bill moving because we were told by numerous people that Guthrie was sitting on it and that he had no intention of really caring about it because he said, quote, no gun owners have contacted me about this bill. And so we said, okay, well, we'll flood his inbox with gun owners who want to see House Bill 295, which prohibits credit card companies and financial institutions from coding firearm and ammunition purchases specifically for tracking purposes. And now, typically, I would say, look, I don't want to get involved with the government telling a private company what to do. But these private companies, the banks, aren't really private anymore. Okay, they're all bought and paid for by the government and by taxpayers. You've subsidized most of the big ones. And these credit card companies have sold you out time and time again. They work hand in hand with the government. So in my opinion, you're not really a private company anymore. You've lost that privilege. So we'd love to see House Bill 295 pass. And so Anthon gets up there and and these special interest groups are sending out emails and they're monetizing their emails. And first of all, I actually don't think we put a request for donations in that email. In fact, and I was told this morning we didn't get any money from those emails. So all that aside, Senator Anthon just completely whining and complaining, and we're the number one state when it comes to guns. We're tied with Arizona. You know what Idaho was before the Idaho Second Amendment Alliance came into the picture? 32nd. 32nd. That's where Idaho ranked. Guess which organization? Guess which gun owners pushed for constitutional carry from the very beginning? That was us. Okay, nobody else. The NRA actually fought us. The NRA lobbyists actively fought against us passing constitutional carry way back in 2014 and 2015. Okay, so Senator Anthon could sit up there and bloviate about how great Idaho is, and we do. We have, in my opinion, the best state for gun owners. What we don't have is the best legislature that will really fight for you. It's people like Senator Anthon and others in the Senate and in the House, and they will block everything that you're trying to. In fact, House Bill 295 was fine the way that it's written. It's fine the way that it's written. It's going to the Senate floor. It's already cleared the House. It's going to the Senate floor, and they want to amend it. They want to amend the bill because the banks complained. So now, instead of holding the credit card companies accountable and the banks accountable, should the banks decide to start tracking ammunition and firearm purchases, now they're going to go strip that out and just make it about the credit card companies. So that if a bank decides to do it, now you have no recourse because the legislature, yet again, is watering down a bill that was totally fine the way that it was. Even Democrats in the House voted for that bill. Okay, so there was zero reason to amend this bill. They caved to the banks. The bill sponsor, Ted Hill, he caved, was like, oh, sure, let's go ahead and we'll amend it. When is our legislature going to wake up that we don't have time for this? There's zero reason to capitulate to the left. There's zero reason to capitulate to these big businesses that want to target gun owners. None. Zero. Nada. Okay, we live in a state that is super majority Republican, and yet we keep electing these people like Senator Anthon that vote big government all the time. What do you think Senator Anthon voted for Governor Little's socialist handout program for high school kids, high school graduates? Yes, he did. But I want to touch on one other thing here real quick. It's funny because Senator Anthon, and he's not the only one. There's been others that are like, no, Greg and the ISAA, they just sit there and raise money. They don't actually do anything. Okay, yeah. First of all, I'm going to ignore the stupidity of those statements. But let's talk about the money issue for a second here. We raise money. As a nonprofit, we raise money. We use that money to go out and we fight for the Second Amendment. That's what we do. Okay. Our operating budget for the entire year is typically between $250,000 and $350,000. Guess what? None of that comes from big business. None of that comes from other PACs. None of it comes from anything other than thousands and thousands and thousands of gun owners all across this state that love having a local organization that will go in the Capitol and kick ass. Okay, I mean that's it. That's all there is to it. Do we love doing it? Yes, we do. We love serving you guys. We love going into the Capitol and going, the gun owners want this. Senate Bill 1004, Stand Your Ground expansion, Guthrie held that up. The coward wouldn't even let us have a public hearing on the bill to debate it. And then he stuffed removing the universities from having any say over campus carry because they shouldn't. They have no constitutional right to do that. He held that bill up as well. Okay, this is what they do. They find one bill that they can kind of move through that doesn't really do a whole lot. They move it through, the NRA endorses it, and then they vote for it, even if the bill doesn't really do anything, because they know that they love that little card from the NRA that's kissing their rear end, telling them thank you. There's a reason our organization doesn't endorse. Okay, it's because of people like Senator Anthon or others who will vote for guns. Okay, when they get to the floor for a vote, they'll vote for it. And that's why they try to water it down as much as possible. They try to block the solid legislation as much as possible. Okay, and then they'll vote for the watered down bill. They get the A+ rating from the NRA, and everything's hunky dory. We don't do that crap. We don't endorse candidates because it's too easy in this state to be pro-life and pro-Second Amendment, and you suck on everything else. Okay. Case in point, Senator Anthon, and if you don't like the Idaho Freedom Foundation, that's fine, but the bills are rated and they're voted on by the same people, Democrat and Republican. His average rating, including this year, over the last 4 years, is a 49%. Now, I haven't been in school for a while, but if I pull up my handy-dandy A through F grading system, a 49, I'm pretty sure, is not a good score. That means a lot of the times, especially on these big government programs, Senator Anthon is right there with the Democrats, voting lockstep with the Democrats. Okay? And then let's talk about the ethics, because these people love to brag about ethics. No. Go back. Let's step back into the money thing real quick. I forgot. Let's talk about Senator Anthon. It's funny because the NRA raises money the exact same way we do. They never attack the NRA for raising money. They only attack the local gun organizations, which is kind of funny. But let's talk about how many donations the ISA has gotten from PACs and big government, big businesses and all that kind of stuff. Zero. Exactly zero. Okay? No, there is some logging guy who donates like $100 every couple years. So I forgot. So I think we got one. Okay, we got one. Over the last 2 years, Senator Anthon has got 73 individual donations to his campaign. He has 218 either PAC donations, business donations, or maybe donations from nonprofits. Okay, I didn't go through and identify each one, but they are identified as either business or individual. And $108,000 is how much he's raised in the last 2 years from special interest groups. You know, he attacks us as my special interest group, of course. I have a very special interest in the Second Amendment. Okay, but he's gotten $1,000 donations from. I'm just going to read these off, and I'm not attacking these organizations. I'm not saying it's bad for them to donate. What I'm showing you is that people like Senator Anthon are bought and paid for. $108,000 from 218 donations from Idaho Senate Republican PAC, Snake River Sugar Beet Growers PAC. And every time you hear PAC, by the way, that's a political action committee. Idaho Soft Drinks PAC, RAI Services, United Heritage Group, Blue Cross of Idaho, Idaho Bankers Association, Idaho Power, Lobby Idaho LLC, Winning for Idaho, Melaleuca, ICULAC, ICUA PAC, Circle D Farms, Grant D Farms, Idaho, what was that one? Idaho AGC, Idaho Association of Realtors, PAC, Idaho Cable Broadband Association, Idaho Forest Group, Idaho, or did that one, Vantage Dairy Supplies. And again, I'm not saying these are bad companies or PACs or anything like that. I'm just reading off, and this is how many special interest groups, okay, that donate to Senator Anthon's campaign. So let's not pretend, Senator Anthon, that you're all high and mighty and that you're going to attack us because we raise money to help fight for the cause of the Second Amendment in Idaho. Give me a freaking break. Give me a freaking break. Okay, these people want to talk about ethics. There's no ethics in that building. I'm telling you right now. There's no ethics in the Idaho Capitol. These people, time and time again, do the dirtiest, sleaziest things you have ever seen. Case in point, last year, Senator Christy Zito was working with our organization. She's now our political director. She was working with our organization, and she was helping us push an expansion of our SAPA bill, okay? The Second Amendment Preservation Act, whatever you want to call it. It's got a variety of names. We had a bill to do that. At the time, Senator Patty Ann Lodge was the chairman in the Senate. And we were fighting and we were pushing. We were putting pressure on her to finally give a bill a public hearing, okay? So what happened? We sat down with the Idaho Attorney General's office, okay, when it was under Lawrence Wasden. We sat down with leadership in the Senate and everything else. And we had this big powwow with our attorneys and all this stuff. And said, hey, can we come to an agreement? Can we figure out a way to make this work? And we did. This was really late in the session when they were refusing to budge, and they finally decided to do something because you guys had reached out. So we sit down with these people, have a meeting, and then a couple days later, all of a sudden, Senator Lakey has a bill that he gives to Senator Lodge or something like that, and every single Republican is listed as a co-sponsor except for Senator Zito. So they stole her bill and then left her off of it. And Senator Anthon in committee was like, I can't believe this. This can't be true. I mean, acting and pretending like they didn't know exactly what they were doing to Senator Zito. So when these guys sit up there and preach about ethics and morals and all this bullcrap, understand that it's bullcrap. The backstabbing, lying, weaseling that goes on in that Capitol behind the scenes would blow your mind. It's just like Washington, D.C. It's really no different. And that's why I don't put up with it. I'm sick and tired of it. The people are sick and tired of it. Stop playing games. That's not hard. There's a gun bill, you give it a hearing. Like, what's the problem? Why aren't we passing 10 gun bills every year? They don't all need to come through me. Look, we have one or two bills that we usually push. We'll help out with some other ones when we can. But we don't sit there and just oppose bills for no reason. I think we should pass 10 pro-gun bills every single year. Just put it on the gun grabbers' throats. Like, I don't care. I think that's how we should be doing it. Because if our state ever flips to California, Oregon, or Washington, you can guarantee they're going to be ramming through gun control like you would not believe. So now is the time for us to make a difference. Now is the time for us to get out and pass as much pro-gun legislation as we can. Stop being a stumbling block. Senator Guthrie is being a stumbling block. Sure, he's going to let something through. He's got to try and let something through. But when it comes to the real legislation, the hard-hitting stuff, he's going to try and block that every single time. In fact, he told Christie that leadership didn't want the bill. He said leadership doesn't want it, and it just goes too far. It goes too far. That's coming from the chairman who is blocking our bill. Okay? So Senator Anthon can get up, he can whine and complain all he wants, but that's how it works in the Capitol. Okay? And I'll probably do a follow-up video and explain a little bit more detail on their process inside the Capitol. But if Senator Anthon's going to sit there and attack us, look, just name us. let's do this. No reason to beat around the bush, Senator Anthon. We can go. We can go. We can have a discussion. I'm willing to sit down and have a discussion. But if you're going to keep attacking us, then I guess we'll do what we have to do. So, we'll educate the citizens in your district and let them know what you're doing, what you're saying, and that's fine. So, anyway, if you guys have any comments, questions, concerns, let us know in the comments. We'd be happy to answer those for you. Until next time, take care and God bless.